Welcome, travelers. Welcome again to another episode where we're learning more about the mysteries of God's will. We're going to do a Bible study devotional. We're also going to get into learning more of the realms of BMX in the flatland realms. And we're here in this 15 by 15 square foot area. And here's another, there's always these weird things I start thinking about on flatland, but another aspect I like about flatland is it kind of gives like people just like an even little playing field, right? Because I think most people can find a little area where they can ride, right? So a lot of these tricks are very fun to learn. I find them fun to learn. Kind of feels like just trying to figure out this really gnarly puzzle. And what's really cool about these puzzles is that when you figure out some of these puzzles, you can add them into other puzzles. And it's like this it kind of feels like this really, really, really gnarly RPG game where you just have like the talent tree and you're just like, okay, what abilities do I want to get into? Where do I want to specialize? And that's kind of what I've been taking Flatland as. Anyway, let's get into the Bible study. Which I'm starting a little later today. Well, let's see here. There was some verses I was looking over, and some of the verses I was looking over was, I guess I was thinking about like, okay, so you know how like there's the sowing of the seeds, how we're supposed to be sowing seeds, how we're supposed to be like following the Lord Jesus Christ, and He will make us fishers of men. And so I guess in just thinking about that, I think about that, and I kind of started thinking about like the paladin class and what attributes the paladin brings. What does the paladin really offer, right? And I think a big one would be to bolster their allies, to encourage people, and to I guess the paladins also do heal people and protect people and things of that nature. But they also have auras, right? And in terms of thinking about that, I started thinking about just some verses about like encouraging people, right? And so we're going to get into these verses up in here of, let's see here, this is Hebrews 10. We're going to get into Hebrews 10 today. And, well, this is where we're going to start out at. We're going to look up some things on encouraging others. So let's see if I can read it on the screen up in here. If it focuses. Okay, let's read some of this stuff. Let's see here. Let's read Hebrews 10, 22 through 25. Let us draw near with a true heart in full assurance of faith, with our hearts sprinkled clean from an evil conscience, and our bodies washed with pure water. Let us hold fast with confession of our hope without wavering, for He who promised is faithful. And let us consider how to stir one another up to love and good works, not neglecting to meet together, as is the habit of some, but encouraging one another, and all the more as you see the day drawing near. And I think that's the interesting one right here, right? And let us consider how to stir one another up to love and good works, right? And I think about that, and I think about like kind of who inspired me to even start, because there was actually a time when I was actually not going to be doing these BMX streams. Here's the hilarious part about it, right? Because I was actually like, when I first started doing these stream things, it was like the mobile thing came out and I was like, oh dude, a bunch of like BMX riders. I thought there was going to be like a huge scene on Twitch for like BMX riding. I was like, dude, we're going to get into it. And I was like not even thinking about it. There wasn't even a thought in my mind I was even going to do Bible study devotionals. I was like, all right, we're just going to go full in BMX riding. Let's do it. Let's go. I started doing it, and there is not even like a scene in BMX. There's actually, I've only met maybe 9 BMX I've only met 9 BMX riders on Twitch, and I've only met like 3 flatland riders on Twitch, which is ridiculous actually. So there's actually not the scene for BMX actually is almost non-existent on Twitch. But the thing about it is that there was a time when I was like, oh, I'm probably not gonna keep streaming this. But then when it started happening, I started meeting these believers, and then I started seeing how they're doing it, and you guys inspired me to even start these Bible study devotionals. And it's so crazy to me now because, man, it's just so weird. Sometimes I wonder if like the Lord just orchestrates certain things to happen, right? And then the whole other weird thing is like, I'd like to think that this injury is a blessing in disguise now, because this actually is one of my worst injuries. Like, this is way worse than me breaking my collarbone or like getting a concussion and getting my head split open. Dude, this ACL one is brutal because like it's just like I totally had to change my riding. I mean, I guess I could have got the surgery, but I would have been out for 6 to 9 months, right? But then just because I started doing that, it literally forced me, just because of this injury, it forced me into a whole new style, maybe not, actually a whole old style of BMX riding, right? And then what ended up happening is that kind of pushed me into the streaming aspect too, because I was like, oh, well, all right, well, I can't air out anymore. I'm not going to be able to jump and stuff, which I try to do it too, but I'll tweak my knee out and stuff like that. But the thing is, I was like, okay, I'm going to clean out this garage, and because I see some flatland riders, and they're riding in this very same area, like this very same square footage. There's a bunch of flatland riders, even like some gnarly pro riders, and they're riding in this exact same area. And I was like, bro, let's do that. I'm going to try and learn that. And then like I got into it. I was like, whoa, dude, this is going to take a lot longer than I thought. And so I was like, all right, well, let's try and learn this stuff, right? And then what ended up happening, what kind of got me into streaming, was that on this phone right here, I barely have any memory on this thing, right? Because I just have so much stuff on this phone, right? I have probably about 10 minutes worth of filming. And what would end up happening is I would be like grinding on flatland, and I'd be like trying to land a trick, and then it takes me like 100 it probably takes me hundreds and hundreds of tries sometimes to even land something. And then like I'll land it, and I'll be like, yeah, I landed it, and I'll like go literally behind my phone. I'm like, bro, I got the clip. And what happens on the clip, it says my storage is full. And I'm just like, are you kidding me, bro? That thing took me 100 tries right there, right? Well, then you know what ended up happening? That actually started getting me wanting to start streaming. And that's the most funniest part about this whole streaming thing, is because you just download Twitch, bro, and it's like you have an unlimited external hard drive, bro. You could be literally filming for 24/7, 7 days a week, and you could just save all that footage, man. It's crazy, bro. And I'm just like, what in the world? And now I honestly, at this point, I think I have most of my clips actually not even saved as normal clips. I think they're just all on the stream now. Well, not all on the stream, but most of them are on the stream. And then it's just so crazy thinking that I was actually going to stop doing the stream thing, but then who encouraged me? It was the believers that encouraged me. And then the other weird thing is some believers encouraged me to even start learning deeper into things on flatland and some of like these tricks into flatland. I was like, huh, that's weird, you know? And even, not only even on flatland, even in the drawing aspect, I met some really mysterious believers, and they would draw in some of the techniques that I was employing, right? Like sometimes they would draw really smaller, and they would teach me these things, and I'm just like, what in the world? Sometimes I feel like, sometimes it's really weird, because sometimes I'll just meet some really peculiar, very strange and odd believers at times, and I go, is there a reason why the Lord has had me meet this person? Because sometimes, like, you know, what I've been noticing actually is sometimes you will meet some believers, and they're like these super gnarly guys. Like they might be like Olympic athletes, or they might like be like a crazy like basketball player or something like that, or just some really proficient artist, or like a musician or something like that, right? But also on the other spectrum, I have met believers that were like just very, almost like they weren't really well known, and they weren't really like in, I guess, say like just you know, just super famous or whatever, right? That like, but what's weird is sometimes they would do things in such a fashion that I was like, huh, that's really weird how that person's doing it. And one part I thought about that is some of the artists that I met that were believers, and I'm like, huh, you're actually doing that in that technique. And what was funny is that some of these artists that I met that were believers, they were inspired by other previous believers that inspired them. And it's just so funny because it makes me think about this verse right here, and it even makes me think about flatland right here, right? There's this trick called the switch foot stick. I do it a lot, right? And the weird thing was, is when I saw these two riders that both promoted God in their edits, right? I was like, oh, they probably rode together, you know, they probably, and then what started happening is I started realizing one dude was from the 80s, and then the other dude was from like the late 90s. So I was like, huh, that's weird. And like, I was wondering, like, it's so strange how like maybe that one rider from the 80s inspired that one dude from the 90s, and maybe those two believers now has inspired me to learn that trick. Well, let's see here. You got to keep streaming too. Even if you only get a couple viewers, the stuff you talk about and the stuff you do is awesome. Oh, thanks, dude. Yeah, I mean, here's the other thing. Is like, even if I wasn't even getting viewers and stuff like that, because I'm really not about. Here's actually the strange thing about streaming, or maybe the season I'm at the moment, is that it's kind of weird because like when I was on like Instagram and like these other platforms and stuff, when I was like a couple years ago, actually, I was like really about like just getting views, right? I was just like, I want all the views, like that's all I want, right? But in terms of that, it gets kind of like weird once you start getting a lot of views. Actually, what started happening to me is I started getting super self-conscious. I was like, oh, well, because like if you post something and it doesn't, like, imagine you post something and it gets like 8,000 views, right? And then you post another thing and it gets like 100 views. You'd be like, what's going on here? Like, why is everybody liking this one and not this one, right? And so sometimes that actually made me start going through this weird spiral. Not only me, this actually happens to a lot of people. It kind of makes you go through this weird spiral effect in your mind of being like, well, am I doing something wrong? What was I doing wrong in here? Like, why aren't people liking this? Or is it just because of me? Is it just because? But here's the thing that you have to put into the factor of all that is that there's so many variables, especially on the internet, right? There's the variables of like when you're posting things. There's the variable of like, are people on break? There's the variable, are you trying to appeal to the East Coast? Are you trying to appeal to the West Coast? Those two are on different time zones. Who is your target audience? Dude, there's like, are you using hashtags and all that stuff? There's a lot of like weird marketing stuff that you have to do, and sometimes that stuff gets kind of like, honestly, to me personally, it gets kind of stressful because I'm just like, Anyway, but what I like about Twitch is that I kind of just like, it's kind of like liberating in some aspect. I actually kind of like the aspect of where you can just see me fail, and you can, I mean. It maybe in terms of maybe the Bible studies maybe don't really seem that way, but I probably do say a lot of wrong things. It's like that if I do say things, hopefully people would call me out and stuff on it. But a lot of times it's kind of maybe harder to see that in terms of these Bible studies, right? Unless you do your own due diligence, and I don't even know what's I'm bringing up at times. But on the BMX spectrum, that is where you can really see me fail, man, because a lot of these things. Bro, like, I'm like trying to do these clips like over and over and over. I ain't doing it. People just think I'm crazy, right? There's probably been like 50 streams I've already done where the whole day I haven't landed a single thing, bro. And those days are so humbling, bro, because here's the weird thing, right? Is that I kind of like morphing both the Bible study and the bike riding or whatever you guys are doing together, because there's almost like this commitment factor, right? Because I feel like, say if I just did the bike riding stream, right, and I didn't land a single thing all stream, I'd be like, bro, I ain't gonna keep this stream, dude. I totally failed. I failed that entire day, right? Like that. Why do people even? I'm not even show that to people, right? But the weird thing is because I do these Bible studies in the beginning of the stream, and even if I do fail a lot in the bike riding stream, I'm like, oh well, I did the Bible study in the beginning. Well, at least it has some. Hopefully, it has something to offer in some degree, right? And it's just so weird to think about it that way. And I'm so curious, actually. I'm so curious to think who was the very first believer to, because they're out there. There was somebody that started the train. Who was the very first believer that started streaming and was just like, you know what? I'm going to do a Bible study devotional, and then I'm just going to get into what I'm going to get into. I'm going to either start cooking my food, I'm going to just film me cooking my food, or I'm going to film just be playing video games, or I'm going to film me just working out or just hanging out. There was somebody out there that started that train, because I noticed that there's more believers doing it in this fashion, right? Now it might not even be that that was their intentional goal to just mix everything together, right? It might have even been just a technical aspect of what started happening, because if you do a stream this way, what I've also noticed is just way easier. You don't have to retitle things. You don't have to, cut the stream. You don't have to restart the stream. You don't have to clip things out and all this stuff. So in some cases, it's even easier doing it this way, just putting things together, right? But it's so crazy. It's so crazy. I've had all these thoughts, and literally we've read like maybe 5 verses. Let's read these verses again. And let us consider how to stir one another up to love and good works, not neglecting to meet together, as is the habit of some, but encouraging one another. Here, I'm going to underline that. Encouraging one another. And so that's the thing, man. It's like, man, dude, some of these believers, bro, they have encouraged me, dude, like heavily, bro. Like, they have literally, dude, I've met some believers that have just straight up, like, I don't know, there was something about them, bro. Like, they were like, they just had like this zeal in them, bro. They had this like life force. It almost like, it's like, you know, I ain't gonna lie. Sometimes I think of it like an RPG game, bro. Sometimes I've met some super gnarly, like I'm talking about gnarly, like pro BMX riders that were believers. And dude, it almost feels like you go up to a paladin trainer, bro. Like you go up to him, and it seems like there's some like quest giver, like some sort of RPG paladin trainer or something like that. And you're like, what in the world, bro? And you know that this person's a believer, and you're like, bro, there's something off with this dude, bro. Like there's like his aura is just emanating something, and then you see him ride, he busts this like crazy line. You're like, what in the world, bro? This dude is, where did this dude come from? You know, like just, you know, I saw that, I just felt that, and that's actually what kind of inspired me to get deeper in the faith, especially when I met these believers at Woodward, right? And just like meeting some Olympic athletes and stuff. I'm just like, whoa, dude, this dude has some crazy zeal energy. Like this energy is almost like there's just something like emanating from his aura. And as you get kind of deeper into it, I think it might almost be like the light of like God's like strength and his endurance and his just how he just like keeps us going even through the midst of trials and tribulations and negative emotions. And can we continue to just keep encouraging other people, just like these verses are saying, right? And can we just be stirring one another up? Now, one thing that these verses are actually making me think of is that these verses are also making me think of, because see how it says, where does it say? It says, not neglecting to meet together, you know, as is the habit of some, but encouraging one another, right? What I've actually been seeing a lot on the internet right now in terms of some of these Christian forums is that there's so many believers right now getting so disheartened because I meet so many believers. They're like, oh, well, I don't know how to fellowship with other believers, or they get awkward because when they fellowship with other believers, like there's just, these believers are just super old and they feel very like alienated from their age range. And sometimes I wonder how crazy would it be if just like every believer was like just shining their light, right? And what's weird is, man, this verse is actually really crazy thinking about it. But see how this verse says good works? I know works is a very odd word, and I also want to reiterate, I don't think that we can work for salvation. I think salvation is a free gift. But the thing is that this word is also used by the Lord Jesus Christ. And let us consider how to stir one another to love and good works, right? Well, what's weird is that very word goes into the very Bible study that we did the other day about letting our light shine, right? And I think there's actually something with that, because I think if we let our light shine before others, that is a way we can actually encourage others, right? Now let's read these verses again, right? These are the verses that bring up that word, and this is from the Lord, by the way, the Lord Jesus Christ. You are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden. Nor do people light a lamp and put it under a basket, but on a stand, and gives light to all in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others, so that they may see your good works and glorify your Father who is in heaven. Right? So in some way, it's like the Lord was almost like preluding what we were to do. Like because in some way I feel like there is a level of, maybe, because here's the other weird thing that a lot of commentaries don't mention about being in the light, right? About letting people see us, right? The weird thing is that when actually we are put in front of more and more people, and you kind of get to see their personalities, or you can see their habits, and you can kind of see these things on a consecutive, kind of maybe almost a consistent basis, right? There's a level of accountability that starts happening, which I actually I never even really thought about that word, right? But there is kind of this level of accountability, because if you are kind of like letting people see what you're doing, there's this kind of thing of like, okay, well, what if you say something really wrong? Are you actually going to like kind of like talk the talk? Are you going to walk the walk? Are you actually just going to just talk the talk and just kind of just not even do it, right? And that's the other kind of the thing. It's almost like sometimes I think about that verse, and sometimes I think maybe the Lord said it that way to kind of like
kind of like that whole thing of, like the real recognize real, like it's like, because some people can just like talk the talk, but can, it's like sometimes I wonder if that's why the Lord kind of wanted us to be in the light in some degree, right? Because there's also the aspect of what the Lord said as well, is that we will know, we will know them by their fruits, right? And there's the whole aspect of wolves in sheep's clothing, which is actually very strange to think about. Let's see here. Even when you're failing stuff, it's just good to watch. It's like a real genuine stream where you're just putting in hard and progressing. Yeah, I mean that's the other thing too. And I think as I get deeper into it, I think there's actually a level of it sounds weird, right? It sounds weird, but I think there even is maybe an encouragement that can happen by having other people see you fail, right? Because I have noticed that some people don't want to get into certain things because they're like, oh, I'm never going to learn that. There's no way. That dude's just on such a crazy level, right? But I feel like if you get to kind of see that they're just a normal human, like they're failing just as much as it might seem like it, right? Because sometimes this is the weird thing about, this is actually what's happening on Instagram and TikTok and even YouTube right now, right? A lot of times people are seeing people's highlight reels, right? Like you're just seeing the best of that person's life, right? Like you're not seeing like how much they failed, like, how much like they actually work behind the scenes to get some of these things done, right? And if you were only, like, imagine if everybody just showed their highlight reels and never really showed maybe some of their failures, right? I think what would start happening is that there would be maybe like this sense of like, maybe a lot of coveting, maybe a lot of envy would start happening because they're like, oh man, this dude's perfect. What in the world? Like, I'm never going to get that into that level, right? And then that goes in the whole like psychological question of the fear of failure, right? Because this is actually a big aspect of what gets people to not even do things. It's called the fear of failure, right? It's like the fear of even trying. It's like in your mind, some people have already wanted to not even start because they're like, oh, I'm never even going to do it. So I don't even want to start doing it, right? And so that's the whole strange thing. And that actually goes into thinking about this verse. I actually think I memorized it now. It's 2 Corinthians 12:9. Holy moly, we haven't looked up the commentary yet. This is crazy. I thought I was actually in the whole... Dude, these Bible studies are so weird. The other weird thing about these Bible studies is I don't really, like, go into it. I'm not, like... I don't, like, write these things down where I'm just like, okay, I'm going to get hit this. Sometimes it's kind of like that where it's like, okay, I have a general idea of what I'm going to get into, but I kind of like doing these Bible studies where it's just kind of just like, all right, let's just kind of just kind of flow with it. Let's kind of just find the combos on the spot, because that kind of makes it a little bit more fun for me, because it kind of feels like I'm kind of like searching for these things as well at the moment, right? But it makes me thinking about like the failing in front of people. It actually makes me think about this verse right here. So let's read it. But he said to me, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Therefore I will boast all the more gladly of my weaknesses, that the power of Christ may rest upon me. See, it's just strange just thinking about that. Now, what's weird is one of these commentaries that I did read on this verse in particular is that they were saying sometimes our weaknesses could even be our failures in our life. Now, I think that's a really weird thing that Paul said, and I'm still tripped out on this verse because in our modern society, we don't actually want to boast about our failures, right? Like, imagine if I made an Instagram and I didn't post a single thing I landed. I posted everything that I just didn't even land, like my failures all the time, right? It's like that's kind of not how our society is. It's kind of like the opposite. Our society is very more like we want to kind of like not show people our failures. We kind of want to put our best foot forward, so people kind of see the best and strongest version of ourselves, right? And maybe not show our weak side. And I think that's a very there's a strange like psychological like paradox in this verse right here. But also within the psychological paradox, there's this sense of like, from some of these things that I've heard from some athletes, some Olympic athletes, is they basically said sometimes the people at the top that you think that they're at the top, well, sometimes they are at the top, right? Of just like winning these crazy medals. Sometimes a lot of these people are genetically gifted. Sometimes they are just abnormally just gifted, or maybe they just abnormally have like these strange abilities at times. But what some of these most of these Olympic athletes were saying is that at times the people at the top were actually the ones that just failed the most, and they just never gave up. It's just so funny thinking about it that way. It's so funny thinking about the dude that's winning that stuff. He's the one that actually failed the most out of most people. He's just the one that never gave up, right? And I'm wondering if there's a level of that, and why for some odd reason, I meet a lot of athletes that are believers, and I think I've been actually really thinking about this, right? Because I looked it up on the internet. Why are so many athletes believers? Like, there's just like this abnormal amount of like, it's weird because I've never really like met like really zealous athletes that were like straight up like, yeah, bro, I'm like full on Satanist, like I'm full on like this, we're worshiping Baphomet or something like that, right? I have honestly never like met a zealous, like I'm talking about a zealous like athlete like that, or even like I've honestly hardly even met many zealous people of that. Imagine seeing somebody like that. Imagine seeing like somebody like doing that like multiple days. I mean, it would be so strange. I'm sure they're out there. I don't really like go out there looking for that stuff. All I'm saying is I've never really encountered any people like that, but I have encountered a lot of people that were really for the faith, and they were just these really gnarly people, and I'm like, that dude's a gnarly like paladin character looking. I'm just like, that's weird. And so I've been inspired by them, and that kind of just goes into the very verses that we went into earlier, right? Which we're actually going to look up a commentary on. And I actually lost my place. What verses were those? That was Hebrews 10, right? Yeah, that was Hebrews 10. I don't know. Have you guys met people like that? I mean, I've never even met... I'm going to be flat out honest. I'm going to be flat out honest here. Now, I know this might be kind of controversial. I have never met, like... I've never even seen, like a Satanist or, like, a devil worshiper or just, like, someone that's, like, worshiping Baphomet or something like that. Imagine seeing somebody like that and them doing their own, like, little devotional thing, like 6 days a week or something like that, or like 5 days a week or something, right? Like, what would they talk about? I'm actually quite curious what they would talk about. Like, would they get bored of doing that? And I'm just curious, like, could they do that for multiple, like, consecutive years and years and years and years, right? Because this is the other weird thing about, like, the Bible, right? In terms of, like, some of these devotionals that I've been observing that other believers have been doing, right? That I've been actually inspired by as well, is that there is this one chick that was streaming. I don't think she's streaming anymore, but she wouldn't really do, like, full on. I think what she would just put on a Bible study devotional, and she would just do whatever. She just have it on in the background, right? And just sharing the word, right? And I don't watch a lot of people's streams because sometimes I get super busy and stuff like this. But the thing is I like hopped into one of her streams of this dude doing a Bible study devotional. And he was like, yeah, I've been doing this almost every single day for 17 years straight. And I'm like, are you kidding me, bro? Like, wait, what did this dude just say? This dude has almost been doing a Bible study devotional almost 17 years, almost every single day, bro. Like, how crazy would it be if you saw somebody that was like a straight up devil worshiper, or like straight up worshiping Baphomet or something like that, or just like, like, could they do that for 17 years straight? I'm just so curious. Like, what would they be talking about? Like, what would they be like? I don't know. I'm honestly, I've never seen it. I'm going to be flat out honest, but I'm sure there's probably some people out there that are probably like that. But I think the weird thing is it's just like the whole aspect of this is it's because of how powerful the Word of God is, right? And how there's so many like stories, and it's almost like there's so many combos. And if you guys can't tell already, I love finding combos, bro. I honestly feel like if there were not like the combo aspect in God's Word, I may have gotten a little bored of it already right now. And it's so crazy to me because I'm like, bro, we're on episode 671 right now, right? And I'm just like, bro, I'm almost baffled. I'm like, dude, I can't believe I've done this many episodes, and we're just still going, bro. Like, we're gonna keep going, bro. I'm honest. I'm on the spectrum of like, I actually want to see how far we can go. I want to get up to episode 7,000. That's actually my goal. I want to get up to episode 7,000. Like, I want to do 7,000 episodes. Like, that would be so crazy, right? And the thing is like, there was this pastor in Long Beach at this church I was helping out, and I remember him saying that the Word of God is the well that never runs dry. And he said that in a sermon, and at the time I really didn't understand what he was talking about, right? But as I get deeper into the Word of God, and I do these Bible studies, and I hear other people doing their devotionals, and I hear other pastors, I hear other believers, dude, that's kind of what it's like, bro. The Word of God is like this well that just keeps going and going and going. It's like the never-ending story, bro. It's like the story that keeps, it's like, because I think what ends up happening, right? And I think there's this weird level of like, there's something about the Word of God and how it gets people to memorize certain verses. And it's odd because like, now I have heard people bring up certain verses of different books to me, right? But it's not like they're just going verse after verse after verse. But the thing is, most books aren't even written in verses. So when I hear some people bring up like, say, some like psychology books or some other things, they always kind of like roughly say, oh yeah, there's this chapter that kind of said this and this and this. But what's weird is like, it's not like they fully like memorized it, right? And I think there's a level of what's weird about the Word of God is that we're kind of like meditating on the Word. Like, you know, in Psalms 1 where it says that that David was meditating on the laws of the Lord day and night, right? And there's this aspect of recovering verses. That's the other weird thing, right? I think some people think I'm crazy. They're like, dude, you already covered that verse. Like, why are you going over it again, right? The thing is that even if I do cover over the same verse or even some of these same topics that I've covered over many times, right? The thing is that I like to think that maybe it's an attribute of memorization, right? Because what I actually have noticed from doing these Bible study devotionals, dude, there's so many of these commentaries, bro, that like I'll read them and it's like they go in one ear and out the other. Like if you were to tell me to kind of like maybe recall at least like 70 words that I've memorized from that commentary that I read 10 minutes ago or like an hour ago or something, I probably couldn't even remember like that much. And it kind of really, maybe I'm just a really bad memorizer, but I'm wondering like how much of this, like not only the Word of God, but just other things that we read, how much does it really like get within us? Like how much, because for me, I'm kind of one of those people that I have to like, bro, if I don't keep doing something, like I'm just gonna forget it, bro. Like, and that's kind of what Flatland's been teaching me too, is like sometimes like, if you can't tell already, bro, sometimes these tricks, like you gotta just like keep going at it, bro. Like you gotta, even if it feels impossible, there's this point where like, even if it feels impossible and you just keep going and keep going and keep going and keep going, it just gets like, it's like, it almost becomes like a muscle memory and you're like, boom, you know, like I can just pull this trick out just like muscle memory, right? And I feel like that's even what the Lord brings up too, because he brings up like the parable of the rock, right? And the parable of the rock is like talking about these winds and these trials and these storms of life happening to us, which in some sense, I think it's even an emotional state of like, can we control our emotions, but also protect our emotions from these very negative aspects of what life can throw at us, right? And in some cases, some of the best ways to protect yourself from these negative emotions, right? Like just say, I mean, I'm gonna bring up some emotions like, you know, like anger, sadness, depression, coveting, envy, jealousy, you know, like anxiety, you know, like worry, you know, some of these major emotions, bro. If you start listening to more and more believers, man, it's like they are like armored up. Like they're armored up from like these emotions that actually, these very emotions have driven people insane. These emotions that I brought up, bro, if we go into the prison system and we actually ask people why they started like doing some of these heinous crimes, and we really looked back deeper into how these people were affected by certain emotions, and sometimes these certain emotions drive people into this fight or flight situation of being like, oh, well, I need to protect myself, so I'm going to fight, and I'm just going to, or, you know, or I feel pain and I want to have other people feel pain, or like sometimes people's emotions, like sometimes people's emotional states, like sometimes if they want other people to feel what they felt like, right? Like sometimes if you meet an angry person, sometimes they want other people to feel their anger that they had. Or if someone's hurt, they want other people to feel like they were hurt too. So there's like a empathy, relatability aspect. Now, the thing is, I don't think most people actually maybe realize they're even doing that. But the thing is sometimes we can do that in many cases is with our words, right? It's sometimes it's weird because I wonder, like, I'm not really, I'm going to be really honest. I'm not in the aspect of like if like I was like a teacher or something, and I, because if say like you're in a normal classroom setting, right, and there's a teacher, right, and then there's a bunch of classmates, right, and like you're seeing these same students over and over and over again, so you kind of get to see their personalities, right? You get to see their vocabulary, you get to see how they interact with the other students and stuff like that. The thing, I'm not in that spectrum, right? Because what we're doing is like I'm just doing these Bible study devotionals. The other thing is I do like to people watch at times, right? And that's the other cool thing about the bike is that you can kind of ride. You can go straight up in the hood. And the thing is, people are cool with you. Like if you bring out a camera in the hood, like I'm talking about in the hood, like you go to a spot, right? And in most cases, if I wasn't riding a bike, bro, and like getting a clip or something, I bet some people would come out and they'd be like, bro, what are you doing on our block? Like, what are you doing up in here, right? The thing is since I'm riding my bike, I can kind of get away just being in really weird areas and weird situations, and even like, and I think that's the really weird thing about the bike. The bike or just the skateboard or something like that, it's such a good people watcher, and you can just like go into areas and you can literally just people watch, and you're just like, whoa, dude, like it's so crazy just seeing how these people are interacting with one another, and so it's kind of interesting thinking about that. But it would be weird now going back in the classroom setting. What I'm thinking about is it would be interesting, like thinking like, okay, well, imagine if you did see like a student or something, and he's like always like, maybe he is really angry, maybe his parents are beating him or something like that, right? Like what if like he's getting totally bullied, and he might even be one of those students that like he's just going to get triggered and he's going to like do something drastic, right? It's so crazy to think that you as a person, if you could maybe even have a sense of observation of that, you could be actually a person to change that person's life. Like maybe that person just needs a little bit of encouragement. Maybe that person needs just like some words of just like healing, or just like, be like, hey bro, you got this, dude, like don't give up, like, because maybe that person's like just getting like beat down upon from words of negativity and things that we're not even really aware of, right? And that's kind of the strange thing about it, of just how crazy words are, right? And now you got to take this with a big grain of salt. I did meet a believer out in Long Beach. I met so many weird believers out in Long Beach, right? But he was basically telling me that words are actually like spells. And he basically said that this is actually why we call it spelling, is because we're using words. And it's not like this, because like you kind of think about Harry Potter and stuff, and you think about like them like casting fireballs and stuff like that. Well, the thing is that there's a strange aspect of how powerful our words are, right? And words actually have a lot of meaning, and it's like the words that we actually use to ourselves and how we use our internal monologue. It's like so crazy to think like, okay, so our words affect our perception of reality. Our words affect how we perceive things around us. Our words affect how we go through emotional states. What words are we using when we get really, really pissed off or really, really mad? Are you just going to blow up and just start like, oh, like, like, or just like in our words in a very deep degree, it actually affects our character, and it affects us as people, and it affects those around us of how we use our words. And the crazy thing is this isn't just like something that I just like made up, right? The thing is that the Bible, God's word, goes so deep into that. And I've done like probably like 5 Bible studies on that, right? About how in tune our words can be, and how like our words can hurt others. Our words can maybe encourage others. Our words can heal people. Our words can, do a lot of things in a lot of aspects, right? And the other scary thing about our words as well is that our words can even get us into fights. Our words can get us into arguments, right? And it's just so crazy. It's like literally, my mind's like just blown, bro. Like it's probably happening right at this very moment, dude. So like how arguments start happening and like people get heated and they're just like, no, you did this, and they start using words and words and words. Well, dude, what's crazy about it, bro, is like the thing about words, man, is like so many arguments, dude. If we were to go into the prison system right now, so many arguments, bro, that started out with just words, bro. Like it was just like them, hey bro, I don't like you, or maybe I don't really know I don't know how to do a good example without it sounding cheesy, but you know how certain fights happen, right? It's generally just like it starts with words. It's not like they just start just stabbing each other, right? It's generally just like words. They're using some words. Oh, they're using some words. They're getting a little frustrated. That person's getting frustrated. They're getting angry and angry and angry. Boom, they start fighting. It's probably like maybe a fist fight or something. Boom, someone brings out a knife, stabs them, and then like they're like, oh, we bring out a knife, and then they bring out a gun, and boom, someone gets shot in the head or something like that, right? It's so crazy because like this is happening right now, like somewhere in the world, and it's so crazy to me, right? It's so crazy to me to think about that what I just described right there is probably going to happen sometime today. And it's like, it's just so wild to me. And I'm just like, bro, like, it's just like, imagine you being a conduit. Imagine you almost being like a curse breaker. Imagine you going out, like, imagine if this was just an RPG game, right? And you were just like some sort of like person that could go out and you could break people's curses. Maybe not at the first try, because sometimes these curses are really gnarly, right? But sometimes I like to think about that, of like, you imagine like you could just be like this curse breaker, like just breaking people's curses. Like, maybe that person was like super depressed and like super in anxiety and like and just super sad, right? And maybe them thinking about even wanting to take their own lives or something like that. Imagine you being that one person. Maybe not one person, maybe just a one person in the big chain of events that might happen in their life, but just to encourage somebody like that, right? To maybe not take their own life, or maybe to encourage them, to give them a little hope to just keep hanging on, right? Like, a lot of people need that right now, right? What up, Priceless? What up, bro? You get caught in the hurricane, dude? Wasn't there a hurricane where you went, dude? Man. Okay, let's see. I need to read a commentary up in here. I forgot. Man, I got totally sidetracked up in here. Actually, I wasn't really sidetracked. It was just we're just kind of covering a lot of topics, and it's so funny because, bro, this is so crazy, dude. This whole entire conversation has started just because of those simple verses, just about like encouraging one another, right? And it's really just making me think about that, right? How can we encourage others? Because we're actually supposed to think about that, right? And let us consider how to stir one another up to love and good works, not neglecting to meet together as it is the habit of some, but encouraging one another, and all the more as you see the day drawing near. I really want to think about that, man. Like, I really want to think, like, how can we encourage people, right? I think a lot of people need encouragement right now. I mean, it's like, it's really, I honestly think there might even be a strange element of, I think people, if we just show people our failures more, maybe show people our weaknesses more, maybe that might encourage some, because they're like, oh, well, that person's failing. Okay, maybe I could do that too, or something like that, right? Or there's like a level of empathy that might happen. But I don't know, right? So we're going to look at the commentary. Let's actually just look up some verses on encouraging others. It's a very important topic, actually. And I honestly like being around people that encourage others. I don't know about you guys, but that's actually one aspect of I really miss the skate park element of going to a skate park or something like that, because there's like this sense of like camaraderie. They're just like, bro, you got this, dude. Dude, you got that, bro. Like, you get, and it's just like, oh, that feeling of just like getting pumped up and like having your homies there, and they're just like pumping you up to do something, and then you do it, and then you're just like, oh, and everybody's just happy, bro. Dude, that feeling is just, it's really cool. I love the camaraderie feeling. Okay, let's read some of these verses up in here. So we're going to read some of these verses on encouraging each other. 1 Thessalonians 5:11. Therefore, encourage one another and build one another up, just as you are doing. There's the Hebrews 10:23-24. Okay, there's this one. 1 Peter 4:8-10. Above all, keep loving one another earnestly, since love covers a multitude of sins. Show hospitality to one another without grumbling, as each has received a gift. Use it to serve one another as good stewards of God's very grace. Wow, that's actually a really weird one. Because that goes into stewardship. That goes into, we're actually to steward things for God. And what is one of the big aspects of stewardship, right? The big aspects of stewardship is to help, like, we actually end up becoming almost like hires to God's kingdom. This is one of the big reasons why you see people like sharing the gospel, or even like wearing a cross or something like that, or even just doing these little things for the Lord, right? Because they're ultimately wanting to glorify God. They're wanting to help each other. They're wanting to encourage one another. It's really cool, man. That's a really interesting verse. I didn't even think about that verse today. Oh, this is a weird verse right here. Galatians 6:2. Bear one another's burdens, and so fulfill the law of Christ. Wow. That is a crazy verse, bro. Man, bear one another's burdens, man. There's a lot of burdens out there, dude. Okay, there's the Hebrews 10:24 one. Let's see here. Huh, interesting. Okay, there's 1 Thessalonians 5:14. And we urge you, brothers, admonish the idle, encourage the faint-hearted, help the weak, be patient with them all. Man, encourage the faint-hearted, bro. Help the weak, be patient with them all. That's actually a really interesting one, right? Thinking about being patient with them all, right? Interesting. Okay, Proverbs 12:25. Anxiety in a man's heart weighs him down, but a good word makes him glad. Honestly, I don't even know if I'm going to read a commentary today. That's crazy. I didn't even read a commentary today. I think we might just have this be a combo day today. Proverbs 27:17. Iron sharpens iron, and one man sharpens another. Maybe tomorrow I'll read a commentary, because today I'm already I'm actually really late. I guess we'll leave it on this last verse. May the God of endurance and encouragement grant you to live in such harmony with one another in accord with Christ Jesus. Bro, imagine that, bro. Imagine the Lord of Lords and King of Kings. Imagine him encouraging you, bro. Imagine him like, bro, you got this. Keep going, dude. Like, don't give up. You know, like, dude, I think that's really amazing. I think that's really awesome. Anyway, I guess that was the Bible study today, everybody. Today was straight up just combo day, bro. Like, this was just like, because normally, like, most days I'm like here, like, reading a commentary. I'm like, reading a commentary, right? Today was just like, you know, just like, I actually love, these days are actually kind of rare for me. I feel like I get a couple days where I'm like, it's like firing off today. Like, most days aren't really like this, where I'm just like, I think it's probably because I've covered a lot of these, I've done studies on a lot of these verses multiple times already. So now I'm able to kind of like combo things just on the whim of things, just being like, boom, boom, okay, we did this, I already kind of remember these things that we went over, and just like, boom, 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 boom. Yeah. Anyway, cheers, everybody. You probably just think I'm crazy, but I think it would be cool to be like a healer. Like, I'm gonna be flat on it. I think it'd be awesome to be a paladin. Like, straight up, like, just like, imagine just being able to heal people. Imagine you just being able to wear like gnarly armor. You being able to heal people, you being able to bless people, you being able to encourage others. Like, I think that'd be awesome. You just having an aura. Just imagine like being like a real life paladin, where like your aura just like affects other people around you, and their stats just increase. Dude, I think that would be amazing. You'd be like, bro, you know, like. See, I grew up in the RPG. You can't tell already, man. I mean, even with this stuff right here, it's a very RPG element. I was heavily into RPG games. And that's the whole funny thing, is I actually don't play that many games right now. Like, basically the only game I'm playing right now, as of late, is doing this card draw. I played a lot of WoW, I played a lot of other RPG games, you know, it's like, and so, yeah. Do a card draw, but let's shuffle this thing out, man. Shuffle. 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 You guys are doing good, by the way. I don't even know. I feel like, I don't know, like, are people, like, I actually kind of don't want to know. I kind of don't want to know if like people are just. I think most people that watch this stream actually just listen to this Bible study. That's the funny thing about it, because there's really not a scene for BMX on Twitch. That's kind of like the hilarious part about this stuff, but but I honestly really don't know. I'm wondering if it's just a mix. There might just be half people that are in here wanting to listen to the Bible study. Maybe there's people that do both, but I really don't know, right? But I'm assuming most people in here are just listening to Bible study. All right, let's do a card draw. First card of the day. Oh, interesting. This is a good card right up in here. This is a good card right up in here, man. Soul Mender. I think he's a cool healer right there, man. Ooh, we got Hidden Ancients again. Hidden Ancients. The Ents and the Trents. 3. Okay, interesting. Avicen, Angel of Hope. 4. Ooh, interesting. This card's awesome. We haven't drawn this card in a very long time. I actually forgot I had this card in here. Steward of Valeron. Look at that knight, bro. Bro, I wish I could wear some armor like that, dude. Imagine you being able to just walk around in real life with armor like that. And I know you probably can't. Well, I mean, I guess you could do it at Renaissance Fair or something like that. But thing is, sometimes I like to think of it in a sense of spiritual armor, right? The realm of the unseen, the spiritual realm. Sometimes I like to think, what does people's armor of God look like, right? Because I think some people have some gnarly armor of God, like spirit armor. 1, 2, 3, 4. I need to get back into drawing, bro. Man, I need to just start doing a drawing stream, man. I haven't done a drawing stream in so long. 5. Interesting. We got Juniper Order Ranger. That card's awesome. I haven't drawn this card in a long time either. This was from my set. Both of these cards right here, the Steward of Valeron and this card, were from my Knights vs. Dragons. I remember it. I literally got the little box thing of the Knights vs. Dragons. Which side will you choose? The Knights or the Dragons? Ooh, interesting. Okay, we got Twilight Drover. Oh, that was it. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, that was it. That was the hand for today, ladies and gentlemen. Man, that looks cool, huh? There's just something about just seeing a hand like that, bro. It's just like... just a reward. I don't know. There's just something like cool about it, and there's just so much like gnarly artwork. What up, Jason? What up, bro? He's doing another gnarly Bible study, bro. These things are gnarly, dude. These things are like, holy moly, bro. Like, it honestly just feels like I'm just doing a flatline line. We're just like doing a flatline line, just like, okay, this combo over here, let's combo this one over here and go into here. That's what it feels like. I think it's kind of fun. But I think people just think I'm crazy, but at this point, I think it's kind of fun. I'm just like, bro, this is like, it's so cool just being able to like combo things together. You're like, I think it's just like having a session of work. Okay. We did get some new parts, by the way. We got some of these. We got some, what are these called? Chain tensioners. Yeah, we got some chain tensioners today. And we also got some grips. We got a seat, actually, too. which I actually already tried to put the seat on, and I kind of don't, I'm not really digging it. Got the seat. I thought, like, see how this thing, like, it was kind of like rough right here. I was like, oh, dude, that might help me in my locomotives, but it's kind of like not really ideal. So I don't know about the seat. Sometimes, like, and also the thing I kind of don't like about the seat is like, it's like, I don't know, it's like, I don't know. So I put the old seat back on. Got some grips. Grip are dope. And then we got some. We got two of these cables of the top. What you call it? Detangler, gyro detangler. But I think right now I already put the detangler on. And right now I put these on, and also I actually did mod my bike today. And I guess I'll show you guys the mod. So the mod today, I guess I already can kind of see it right up on the bike. The mod I did today, it's just an experiment. But I took an old tube and I'm putting it through this like railed seat thing. And why I'm doing it, I know it looks really weird, but why I'm actually doing that is because I want to learn locomotives, right? See this thing right here? And the thing about it is that I've been noticing, like, if you can get a good like pivot grip right here on the locomotive, you can like kind of hold it better in place. And so I was like, you know what if I put a little bit of like a tube or something right there to kind of maybe give me a little bit more grip. So I'm just experimenting with that mod right there. So yeah. Ugh. But yeah, another thing I do, by the way, Jason, I don't know if you run just already like legit flatland pegs, but I use grip tape. Actually, this is Gorilla Tape from the Walmart thing. I actually do want to just get normal grip tape, skateboard grip tape, but this is just a normal plastic peg, you know, you can grind on. But I put the grip tape on there, which I have seen some people do that. I've also seen people drill holes. My buddy Ryan Russell, he had some pegs, and he would just take these pegs and he would just drill holes in them to get a little bit more grip. And also this peg right here is actually from Ryan Russell, which Ryan Russell rides for, I think he rides for S&M, and he's like the Flatlander, and there's been so many gnarly combos. I do have a set of these pegs. And also the cool thing about these pegs is that this thing right here, this cap, see how this cap's like this? This thing's actually kind of like, and so here's the other thing. See this thing, how it's so grinded down? Like, look at that. That thing is so grinded down. You should be able to put a socket right there, right? And you should be able to put an Allen right there. But that's how grounded down these things are, right? The thing is that these things are kind of like theft protectors, right? Because if I have it on there and I actually kind of twist it pretty hard, I have to actually use a vice grip, and I vice grip that little bit right there, and I have to yank it out. But the thing is that it's also kind of like a theft protection thing, because you know how do people steal wheels, right? People just get sockets, undo these things, and then they just pull the wheel right out and they just stole your wheel, right? Well, the thing right here, well, now you got to get a vice grip to open that thing up just to steal my wheel now. So it's like, it's a theft prevention aspect of the bicycle. I actually kind of like that thumbnail right there. Yeah, I might have that as the thumbnail today. That is funny. I'm gonna put a stream marker right there. Alright, let's see here. Add stream marker. Why are my tags not there? It's weird, my tags ain't even going up in here. Do you run front and back brakes, Jason? 100% a brake rider. The brakes have actually saved my life, like when I was younger. See, I almost got hit by a car. Like, on 2 occasions, I almost got hit by a car. I'll be right back. I'm gonna... Let's do this. Let's put on these chain testers. Add a little bit more weight to the bicycle. Actually, I'm wondering, oh, you know what? I don't know if I could run a chain tester with this hub guard. Oh. Kind of sucks. I might have to cut this hub guard. Oh no, actually, yeah, I don't think I can. Huh. Darn. I did not think about that. I actually don't think I can run both of them. I might be able to run one chain tester, but maybe not both of them. Up front, back brakes, my main bike, I took the rear brake off. Yeah, I just kind of got the brakes. I'm a really big back brake runner too, so. Ugh. I'm gonna see if it works up on this one. Oh, wait a minute, I don't even think this is going to work. I might have to... I don't think this thing's going to work. I might have to take out a link in my chain, actually. This thing ain't even gonna work. Bruh. That's sketchy. Maybe it will. I don't think it will. Huh. Well, I guess that's not gonna work. I might have to take a link out of my chain, actually. Huh. I might have to mod this, actually. That's so weird. I might actually have to, like, cut this down right here. That's so odd. Darn. Huh. Yeah, I might actually have to, shave, like, half of that off. They're pretty off true. I should probably trim one of those too. I just have these hops. I'm kind of bad at getting the hops out. To get a hop out, do you loosen all your spokes? I think you do, right? I'm just not going to use that one. Okay. Let me move this camera a little bit. Yeah, so I always have like trouble like getting the hops out of my wheels. I know how to get it because I know like if there's if there's like here's the wheel, you know, and then there's like a giant hop up here. I know like that's when you tighten that area because then it pushes those up, right? But I think there's another aspect of like getting the hop out, right? Sometimes if all your spokes are already really tight and you have a hop in it, right? I think you have to loosen all of your spokes a little bit and then tighten that one area and then realign the tree like that. Oh yeah, let's check our PSI. I actually went down 10 PSI. I'm going to 120 PSI now. 130 PSI, I think I've been popping too many tubes for some reason. I think it was just my rim strip, right? But that's weird, I barely even lost PSI now. Yeah, you're still learning how to true. Yeah, I'm not the best at truing wheels. I know how to do it, but it's like I'm not. I know how to like do the side to side. I'm just not. I'm not good at the hop. This is so sketchy up in here. My ACL knee exercises I do. So I go like this, like the one leg squat, but then I twist my knee, and then I do a squat like that. And that's my warm up. That's all I do. I did a gnarly fire hydrant yesterday. I want to try the little seat mod for the locomotive. Oh, it works, bro. I think I figured out a secret to the locomotive. Or maybe it's just the placebo effect. But I think this little tube is giving me a little bit more grip. Because I almost, like I got into it and I was like holding it.
cool line. So you, I've never done that line before. I want to wax this. Where's my wax at? Oh, that one is. Better, I know, huh? It's just super loud. I don't really ride the ledge that much, just because it's like super loud. But I have like an hour bike ride. I think it's fun. I need to be using that ledge more, but I don't like that much. I wonder if I could do a stall on that.
Oh, dude, I just figured out a new line. I might have to change the camera angle. Alright, we're moving this camera angle up a bit. I'm gonna move my computer a little bit. I think that might be a good angle. Alright, let's see if this works. Ooh, I don't think this is gonna work right here. I think I gotta pull it back. Like that. See, we got this new cheesy combo. Oh, darn. I gotta like push the thing back and you're not gonna be able to see it. Yeah, right there then. Ah, fudge. It's so hard to get the angle because I'm going to be doing a no-hander. I might as well just do it where I normally do it. This is what sucks about this. It's like I might as well just have it the normal camera angle I normally have it on, huh? If it's going to be this hard to capture it. I'm going to push all the way back here. Is this going to capture it now? Cross clip. Oh, this is a weird clip. I don't know like how to go at it. I have to like go into it like safety.
3, 2, 1. How do I do this? Maybe I should go up this way. There. Fudge. I didn't get it. Flip it over. Fudge. How do I get into a double peg? You gotta like make it a little bit more out. Dude, this is gonna be cool. Radical, dude. The reason I can't do this trick today. I've never done this combo before. Normally I do a foot jam no hander. Close. That was a close one. We're doing this combo, bro. I kind of want to get this clip up. No, I actually want to film this. This is a real clip. Let's do it. This is a real clip. Huh. Okay. Let's see here. I'm going to film this as a real clip. All right. Come on, buddy. Come on, buddy. Okay, there we go.
fudge.
That's close. Let's see what it looks like.
Darn. This thing's kind of hard. I wonder if it's catching it. Oh, it's not. I gotta push it back. Fudge. Dude, it's so close to catching it, but I gotta push the camera back. That means I should probably push this camera back, like up here. And then that means I'm gonna have to push this one up here. Okay, let's try it now like this. Dude, it's so hard to film this clip. This clip's gonna be gnarly to film. Okay, now it might catch it.
Socks, underwear, and t-shirts are the most requested items in homeless shelters. Bombas was founded to help, so for everyone you buy, we donate one.
Trust in jaw.
Oh man, now this camera's doing this. Hit the garage. That actually might be cool, like doing the line and then hitting the garage with my tire. Hard. I'm actually struggling. I thought I was going to land this pretty soon, but
This clip's taking a little bit of time. A little harder than I thought. I gotta get at the right angle. Get it. Come on. I gotta like get it at the right angle. The right angles. Four, three, two, one. Here we go. I know it's doable. I almost just landed it. Oh, that was sketchy. Sketch Nation. Need a different song. How about this song? Dude, this is brutal. I gotta just get the right angle. Let's go. Might defeat me today, actually.
Here's to the healthy heroes, the gluten-free gladiators, the plant-based pioneers. Let us raise our banner for high-quality conquests. Find your healthy at Sprouts Farmers Market.
Let's see here.
Hang fighter double peg. That one's hard. I've actually never done that. I can do like a back peg land. I can't like lift my front end to get the front peg on it. Dude, this thing's. I thought I was gonna do this in like a couple tries. It ain't like that. Alright, yeah. Dude, I almost just landed it. Like a carrot on the stick. I literally almost just landed one.
I almost just landed it.
Okay, let's just do it with no music now. Maybe the music's messing me up. Okay, right here. I'm already this far in, I gotta land it. It's like, I need to get that right fakie. Come on.
A little sketchy, but I landed.
Let's see what it looked like. I think that was pretty sketchy. I might have went out of the frame. If I went out of the frame, I'm gonna redo it. Oh, darn. This is kind of where like self-filming gets a little stressful. Well, maybe not stressful, but. Now that's what I call diversity. Thanks, dude. That clip, that thing took me like 50 tries to do, man. I thought I was gonna land it pretty soon. It's just that fakie out of the foot jam no-hander. That was kind of the hard part. Let's see what it looks like. Did I get out of the frame? Okay, I got that in there. Oh, no. No. Man, I did it so many times, it's crazy. Okay, right here. Interesting. Okay, let's see here. Did I get out of the frame? Let's see. Okay, got the no-hander. Oh, I didn't get out of the frame. Nice, I'm gonna take it. Yes. We landed it, everybody. I'm like dripping sweat. I really wanted to land that. Yay, we landed something. I'm so happy. Oops, sorry. Am I trying to make a career out of this? I really don't know. I'm just trying to glorify God. I probably could never really be pro, but we can ride for the Lord. and some people said if you ride for the Lord, then you're kind of just, It's better than even being sponsored. So that's what we're doing. We're just trying to give glory to the Lord, I guess. But if it does end up with something more, that'd be cool. But if it doesn't, I'm cool with that too. It's whatever the Lord wills, right? The Lord's will be done. Not me. Not my will. Am I evangelist? I guess in a strange sort of ways, right? We're trying to proclaim the gospel. We're trying to spread the good news, right? We're trying to spread the good news. Trying to plant seeds of faith. Man, that was a gnarly line, everybody. I actually haven't I haven't struggled with a line in a little bit. That was definitely so by the way, what you guys just saw right there, that's kind of like how I get my clips. I just and I make some filmers, I feel so bad for people actually filming me, especially when I try and get a tech clip, because they're just sitting there for an hour, just being oh, and I know they don't say anything, but I'm bro, I'm so sorry, dude. Next try I'll land it, and I don't land it in 50 tries after that one. Let's see here. Who introduced you to Christianity, because that's not in your culture? Well, the thing is that so I am Korean and Mongolian, right? And the thing is I don't know if you've ever been to Korea or anything, but Christianity is actually pretty big in Korea. Now, what my mom told me is that it was because of the Mongols, the Mongolians. Some of the Mongolians got converted because I guess they were fighting China or something like that, right? And they're fighting China, and so some of the Mongolian tribes and stuff like that, I think it was it might have been even been Russian Orthodoxy, or I don't remember where it was, but there's a strange sect of Christianity that started emerging from the Mongolians, right? And then what ended up happening is, you know how China's this big thing right over here? What ended up happening is some of the Mongolians went over here, and then they ended up in Korea, right? And so that's kind of how Christianity started. I mean, that's what my mom said. I don't really know. You could look it up. There is some lore on that, but it's kind of some lore that doesn't really get mentioned much. And so I was kind of I grew up in the church and stuff like that. I just never really believed it until later on. Let's see here. Because it takes for... It also just gives me a lot of endurance. I think that's the main one. I'll be right back. So yeah, there's some weird lore on all that stuff, but I also grew up with around a lot of believers too. So that's the other. I guess that's a big thing, probably because I guess I did grow up in America, so. Oh, let's see here. I'm black and I want Asian women, but are not submissive, and the Bible says, I went to Thailand. There's some weird, I'm not gonna lie, so one thing, okay, so here's the other thing, is that I used to live in Long Beach, right? Dude, I love Long Beach, bro. Long Beach is amazing. Well, what was weird about being in Long Beach is I got introduced to so many different styles of Christianity. Because some of the Christianity that's kind of maybe I wouldn't say rooted, but it's the first time I've ever experienced Rasta, reggae Christianity, Rastafari. I almost want to say Rastafarian Christianity, or like reggae Christianity, right? And it was weird because then that's where I kind of got deeper into that lore, and it was just so weird because then like I got influenced by like a bunch of like reggae music and stuff like that. And if you actually listen to a lot of the lyrics in reggae music, a lot of it is actually stemmed from the Bible. Like actually, I'm probably going to even say 90, maybe even 95%, maybe 90% of all reggae music is somewhat, they say something along the lines of things in the Bible, right? Now, one of the big aspects of like the Bible, as it meant, even just reggae music, is like they bring up Babylon, right? And like Babylon's mentioned not only in the Old Testament, but it's also mentioned in the New Testament, right? Because in the book of Revelations, it brings up Babylon, right? And like there's a lot of weird things about Babylon, and I think there's some things to be learned of Babylon and also what's going on right now in our modern society. And if you kind of can't see it already, I mean, it's blatantly obvious what's starting to happen, right? And it's basically, we're kind of going through this strange, almost like Babylonian kind of like sin structure in our society. And there's actually some deeper repercussions on that. I mean, I kind of don't want to get too deep into that stuff, but it's definitely like pretty out there. Oh, let's see here. Pretend I'm atheist, convert me to Christianity. I want you to hear how you would do it. Well, I guess, okay, so here's the thing. Let me bring my... So here's the other thing. Now we're going to get into some weird talks, right? It's so funny. I guess we'll talk about this. So here's the other thing, right? So I feel like the faith, it's not like just like you get one seed of faith and you're just like, boom, you just end up running and you're just going to start like proclaiming the gospel, or you're going to just start doing like all this, trying to glorify the Lord and everything that you're doing and stuff like this. I guess some people may have had a testimony like that, right? Some believers probably did have a testimony like that. But how I see it is I see it like the parable of the sower. I literally just did a Bible study kind of on the parable of the sower yesterday. And how the parable of the sower goes is that the seed is the word of God, right? And then if you can think about plants, right? If we think about plants and how plants grow, it's not like a plant like grows in one day and then it's starting to bear fruit, right? There's a lot of attributes that a plant needs to have in order for it to grow. Like it needs to have good soil, it needs to have sunlight, it needs to be watered, it needs to be kind of like cultivated in some degree, right? And the thing is that if we can imagine like the seed of faith growing in us, I think there's a gradual progression of a person's faith, right? And I think ultimately it takes it's not just like one person. That's maybe if you like maybe met like the Lord, he would probably like get people to just believe right away, right? But I think it's not just like one person. I think it happens by a lot of believers. And generally what ends up happening, what happened to me, is I met some really gnarly believers. Like I met some believers that were like gnarly athletes, like even riding BMX. Like I've met some believers that rode BMX, and dude, they're like brutal. They're like so gnarly, and I'm like, what in the world, bro? Like it's crazy. Not only that, and I'm just going to give you an aspect of what I'm talking about, right? About like the subtle seeds of faith. And not only that, right? So and now I'm just going to go into something really weird, right? Even like an RPG game, right? I like playing paladins in RPG games. So what ended up happening is, as I got deeper into RPG games and paladins, that kind of like grew my faith a little bit, right? So that was like one little leaf, maybe a couple leaves, maybe even a big growth in my faith in that. And so what ends up happening is like all these attributes of all these things that the believers are stewarding in their lives to give glory to God, it kind of helped, and how they shine their light, how other believers are shining their light, it kind of shone some light on me and it helped me grow. And then ultimately it got into that, and then like as you get deeper into God's word and his will, you start just learning more and more things, and it's just like, it's crazy, bro. It's like super gnarly. I probably don't make any sense, but like that's how I see it. I don't know if like you can my chat isn't working up on here, so let's see here. I don't know if my chat's even working, but that's how I
Right.
think about it, right? I want you to hear how you would do this. And ultimately how I would do this is just to plant seeds of faith. probably being consistent. I think being consistent is a big one.
A house. Close.
Just gotta be in the harvest all the time. And we just gotta keep shining our light. That's ultimately how we're gonna keep growing people's faiths. Because that's basically the very thing that grew my faith. Other believers shining their light helped inspire me. Does that make any sense? And I don't know if you're still in here, but I tried to do that thing justice. There's a lot of aspects to that as well. That's a question I could keep going. If you want me to keep going on and on and on, I can't go on and on. Because that's, I mean, another aspect is that getting deeper into the Word of God has changed my internal monologue to the point where when trials and tribulations do happen in my life, and or just even baseline emotions, that it gives me a sense of like better armor to maybe not overreact to certain situations, which I used to overreact to things. Hopefully that made some sense. Wow, brutal. Jesus, that's crazy. Let me move this camera a little bit. There we go. You still in here? Captain Cold? I'm sorry if I didn't do that question justice. Normally I leave it to my Bible study devotionals, but because you asked that, I tried to answer it. Hopefully I did an okay job. I feel like that's a question that can go way deeper, but I tried to do. That's what I thought of right away right there. That's actually a good question, right? Because there's actually, man, if I think about that deeper too, there is a level of persuasion that the Lord, or actually Proverbs says that we should have, if we're wise, that our words actually should be persuasive. That trick is hard. It almost feels like the locomotive might be easier to get in than that trick now. That one's epic. I'll take that one. I'll take it. That was sketchy, but we'll take it. That's from buka lagi baik.
Electric's hard, man. We're working on the hard tricks now. Locomotive, funky chicken salad, side donut. Also, hang ten no hander. Oh wait, no, sides. Oh yeah, that's another one we're trying to do. That came out 6 months ago.
Clorox goes all in on protection. It eliminates food and bacterial odors. And we
That trick's gnarly.
That trick's gnarly, dude. Joe Fate. Fusion Game Street TV. Welcome, travelers. Glory be to the Most High, the Lord Jesus Christ. Not my will be done, but His. What are you guys up to? Time is it? 6 o'clock. I guess we'll practice some fire hydrants. I want to get good at watering the plants. Let us water the plants. Two. 4. Thanks, dudes. Thank you, broskies.
Pixel, a spa day was the perfect idea with all these big launch events coming.
I guess since people are watching, I guess I could try to do a little bit more variety. You landed it. Woo! Yeah, buddy! That was fun. I actually haven't landed that line in a very long time. You guys saw it? Really stoked. Glory be to God. Now that was fun. If you guys watch the stream, I don't land a lot of stuff. So when you see me land something, it's kind of like this like rare thing sometimes for me. Because sometimes it takes me like hundreds of tries to land something. Dude, that would be a good idea, bro. The one thing is I need to have like I can't have like a proxy thing. Like maybe I can find something, but I have to connect it through a USB to my computer. So I'd have to have like some really long USB cord. It might be done. They probably do make really long USB cords.
So that would be cool. Put like a top cam. That's a good idea. I'm gonna write that down actually. I'm gonna put different camera angle. Thanks, Joe. I'm wondering if I could use a different camera too. I might have to download this program too, because the program I'm using allows me to use my phone as a video camera on the computer for OBS. I'm thinking you might have to download it on every device. It's like $60 or something. But I'm wondering like if I could just like use this old phone, place this old phone somewhere, right? For like a different angle, that'd be cool. How many frames are in the background? How many frames? What are you talking about frames? Oh, bike frames. Here, let me count. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 7, 8. We have 8. We have 8. We actually have 7 right here. Because this is my first flatland frame. I actually should put this one over there. This is my very first flatland frame. But what's wrong with this frame is like, most of those frames are broken, by the way. Not all of them, but most of them are cracked. Some of them are cracked. And like this one's cracked too. I cracked it, like look at that, I exploded that frame. Put that one up in there somewhere. Klingon Battle. We also do shepherd slinging on the stream as well. So this is something that you guys can get into. This is the shepherd sling. It's a legendary item. Oh, David. This item was the one that took out Goliath. Now this item is really hard to get good at. It's the shepherd sling. You can make one out of one piece of like 8-foot long paracord. And you can put it on your middle finger, like this. And then what I'm using for ammo is just rolled up paper towel with some duct tape. Put it in here. You got the shepherd sling. Here you go. That's actually what that, I don't know if you guys see that paper, there's that paper plate in the middle. That's why I have that paper plate up in here. Oh, I almost did it first tee. Oh, fuck. You misfired. Alamo. It's the Alamo. Wasn't the Alamo in like Texas or something? I really don't know too much on that. The thing about the Sharper Sling is you have unlimited ammo. You can also do the Sharper Sling on the bike. But it's even harder on the bike. It's fun. I have hit it on my bike. I've hit the target twice. No more than twice. It's really hard to hit it. That was so close. This thing's really hard to get good at, by the way. There's some people that are really good at these things, but it's hard. They're hard to get good at because it's like you can kind of aim, but it's like you have to feel to aim it. It's like weird. It's hard. Dude, I bet if you were like a baseball pitcher, I bet a baseball pitcher would be really, really good at the Shepherd Sling. Nope, I'm doing this. It's like too hard, man. This is super hard. I give credit to anybody that gets good with the Shepherd Sling. This thing takes some serious time. Like serious time to get good at. I guess that's what makes like when David hit Goliath like so gnarly, right? Because it's such a hard item to get good at. I think he did it first tee, right? Just first hit, he hit him in the head. Have you seen Randy Johnson's birdshot? No, what is that? Randy Johnson's bird. Let me look at it up. I'll look it up right now. Is he the one that? No. Is he the fastest like pistol guy? Maybe that's what it is. Are you talking about like, you know, like the birdshot like from a shotgun and stuff like that? Randy Johnson's birdshot. Oh, I have seen this video actually. Let's watch it. You're talking about this? I actually have seen this. This is actually insane. Boom. Dude, what are the odds of that, bro? That's like 1 in 1 like billion odds or something like that of that happening. That's gnarly. Yeah, you can see the same damage. You can actually do more damage with a sling. So the sling, I think, increases the damage. I mean, there's a force multiplier. If you look up like shepherd sling documentaries, there is this one historical weapons guy, and he does like testings and stuff like that, right? And he said like. If you actually have a giant rock, so if you actually use a rock instead of, or no, it's not a rock. If you use lead shot, if you actually use lead and you shoot it from a shepherd sling, you can kind of get it close to, I think, like a low grade musket. It's actually pretty crazy, like something like that. Take that with a grain of salt, though. You have to you just look it up on YouTube. There's a lot of interesting videos on it, but it's pretty crazy because if you can only imagine like. The just like getting hit in the head. Now, the thing that some people are hypothesizing that I've heard is that the size of the stone that David actually used was actually the size of a tennis ball, you know? So this one's probably about maybe 1/3 the size of a tennis ball. But you can only imagine if you got a tennis ball sized rock to the dome, man, that'd be brutal. But I think these things are really fun. Yeah. You know, if you have like some kids or something and you want to do or if you like do ministry or something and like you have kids that are bored, bro, I don't know if this would be a good idea. Actually, I don't know if you should actually take that back. I don't know if you should show this to kids because I think if you show this to kids, they might start breaking windows and stuff like that, right? Because it is very hard to get good at. But maybe if you use like paper towels like I'm doing it. It's hard, man. And the thing is that I'm only shooting maybe like 10 feet away. That should be like 30 meters away or something, right? But the one thing that some people have been saying, like, so here's like the biggest like strength of the shepherd sling. Some people have even said if society were to collapse, the shepherd sling would would actually be a very pivotal thing to know how to do, because if society were to collapse, like there could be like some bullet manufacturers or something like that, right? And in some cases you can make your own arrows. Right? But the thing about the shepherd sling is all you need is just to find a stone this big, right? So it's like You basically have unlimited ammo as long as you have stones. So that's the biggest strength of the shepherd sling, is you just have unlimited ammo everywhere, basically. Yeah, nothing but practice. This is so hard. And so the other thing is what they would do. So how they would use the shepherd sling to herd animals is there would be like some sheep over here, right? And then say there was like a couple sheep that were over here. What they would do is they would use the shepherd sling and just scare them. It's not like they're hitting them. I mean, I guess that's probably happened, but generally they would just shoot the rock close by, and then the sheep would get scared and then go back into the herd, right? But not only that, is that you could also protect your herd with the shepherd sling. So say if there was like some wolves coming in or like a bear or something, you could put, and some people have said that you could take out big game. I mean, I guess that, you know, if you think about David was taking out Goliath, but you have to hit him right in the head. Like, that would be crazy. Imagine like, but you'd probably need a giant stone to take out some big game with the shepherd sling. Interesting. You actually hit it. It took me like 20 tries to hit that thing. That's how hard that thing is. Oh my goodness, bro. That took way too long. That's how hard that thing. Oh my goodness, bro. Now, I you know, the thing is that I actually have heard some people bring up that this is actually one of the weird things about our technology right now, right? Is like, what's really, really scary, right? Is that if you gave this to a child, right? If you gave this thing to a child, there's probably no way they'd hit that thing. Like in the first day, right? They'd probably, maybe they wouldn't be able to hit that thing, but generally their accuracy would just be way off. And same with a bow, right? If you were to give a child like 100-pound bow, they couldn't even like pull it back, right? They'd be like, ah. Now, the scary thing in our modern society right now is if you give a child a gun, all it takes is like, I don't know how much the trigger pressure is. It's probably not even a pound, bro. The trigger pressure to actually fire a weapon, it's probably less than a pound. It's probably I know there's probably some calculation to it, but so that's the strange thing about like how our civilization was kind of like, I don't know. Kind of scares me, actually. Yeah, I got it there. I'm actually gonna go I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna look at the weather. So what's kind of funny is, you know, like the shepherd sling, like it kind of feels like doing fire hydrants. Because, you know, like the shepherd sling, you kind of like swing it around. It kind of feels like this trick on a bike. I'm actually really doing that shit now. Dude, you don't gotta watch this stream, Joe. Because honestly, like, you don't gotta watch the stream, bro. It doesn't matter to me. But honestly, what matters most is the Bible study. Honestly, everything. This is just having fun, trying to, I guess, steward what God has given us to some degree. I do appreciate it. Dude, my buddy got hooked up by Animal? What? Man, it's brutal. Dude, that's gnarly. Man, the internet's overwhelming. The internet's too overwhelming for me. There's just too much information. Brutal. Want me to close the door, Dad? Is it not holding it? Oh, it's probably because you have this open. Let's close this. Let me fix my grip. Oh man. What song is this? Kind of brutal. It's all like, it's kind of like, I don't know. It's like there's just something gnarly about this song. Hard. I've been stuck on these tricks. I've been stuck on the locomotive, I've been stuck on the cliffhanger, I've been stuck on the funky chicken tailor. I know what I'm doing wrong. Let's go check the weather. It should almost be like sunset. What in the praises be to the Lord. What are you guys up to? What are you guys up to? I feel like I'm just on this weird plateau of just not landing these new tricks. And I'm like trying not to give up, but I'm just trying to go for it. I've been stuck on the locomotive, the cliffhanger, the freak squeak in a circle, the side donut, and yeah, and the backyard no-hander. For some odd reason, man, I've been putting so much time into learning these tricks, and for some odd reason, I still can't do them, like consistently, or if at all, ever. So let's keep going, I guess. Let's just keep climbing this mountain. The fire hydrant's pretty fun, though. Let's do more fire hydrants. Let's plant, let's water the seeds with fire hydrants. Oh, it's gonna run out of room. 2. See what you do back here, Commander. Nope. You're unbelievably still. Well, thank you, dude. I think it's just time. You know, anybody could do this stuff. It's just, can you not get bored and keep going, right? If anything, that's the biggest skill in, I guess, flatland BMX. Is like, can you just keep going without getting bored, right? I guess with anything, that's not only just for flat, that's just anything. Oh, I actually landed a line. I've never done that line before. Yay! Dude, it just feels so good to land a line. Like, I was not expecting to land that. It's almost kind of like finding like an Easter egg. Like that sense of like suspense. It's just like, oh dude, that feeling of just landing something. It's like, I know it sounds crazy. It almost seems like, it almost feels like you get this like euphoria of like, just like, dude, like it's like joy. Like you get a euphoria of joy. I love it.
I want great things today.
combo was gnarly though.
Ooh, another line. That good. Wait, what are you talking about? Oh, dude, are you that one rider that told me to watch that how-to? Is that the no footed and then you bring it up? Are you that dude? Oh, dude, I totally forgot that you're that person that showed me that. Can you send me that link again? I forgot about that trick. That one trick where you like kick it up. Remember that one trick like you showed me? How did they do it again? I think they do it like this. Oh no! I think they do it like this. Like that, I think. Let's see if I can do the line. I guess I still can do it. Thanks, bro. I think I did it, right? I think I did the two tricks. Where is my water? I need some water. Not there.
from the Holy Spirit, bro. It's because it's the zeal, man. I like being zealous because it's kind of like an attribute of like just things in the Bible, right? I've met many believers too, and they have like this sense of I guess like just joy and just I'd like to say that my inspirations for my energy have stemmed from other believers. And it's probably because they were stemmed from inspirations of the Bible that go into like zeal and just being like joyous, right? Just zeal and joy, those two emotions, maybe not, I don't know what they would be called, just those two attributes or something, those put together are just like such a good combo. Am I drinking beer? No. What if I was just chugging a beer right now? Can you do that on stream? I think you can, right? This is just a LaCroix. Do you guys have these in the UK? You're from the UK, right? I think you're from the UK. These are like just these. But I'm gonna be flat out honest. These things actually help me not drink alcohol as much, because like I don't know where you live at, but there's these beers a lot of my friends drink, right? And they're called Miller Lights. And I ain't even lying, bro. These LaCroix, it basically just tastes like a Miller Light. It's just like carbonated water. Oh, you never seen? Wow, that's so weird. Yeah, these are like super. These are super popular in the States. It's so weird because like I feel like this company like just exploded in the past like 3 years or something, and now like I see them everywhere. But they're really cool. There's like 0 sugar, 0 sodium, and it kind of tastes like I mean maybe that's just me, but I almost kind of feel like it tastes like a beer to me. I think it's just the fizziness of it. Yeah, going so it's hard. It's just the hardest part about it is just your friends, bro. You know, you say you're gonna go sober, and then you get bored. You go hang out with the boys, and then they're like, and they just like give you a whole bunch of drinks and stuff. That's how it goes. Maybe do multiple wood flashes. Broke it. Oh, this is fun. I'm kind of like more in chill mode right now. I kind of like used up most of my energy earlier. Oh, fudge. It's hard sometimes. Is that a HUD trim? No. I have, so... Oh yeah, by the way, my favorite... Honestly, like, I wouldn't say it's my favorite... I have a lot of favorite verses, but the first verse I remember memorizing is Proverbs 28:1. And Proverbs 28:1 goes, the wicked flee though no one pursue, but the righteous are as bold as a lion. And it's like lions. And I like being bold. But no, okay, so for the frames, that one's a red line, that one's a GT, or no, it's a dyno, what's it called? It's some sort of dyno frame. People used to actually ride flatline on that dyno frame. The other one is a, I forgot. The top one's a Huffy. And now we got a Colt, and then that one's over there. I used to have, and now, so the other thing, I've had probably like 10 other frames too, but that was when I was younger, before, because I used to crack my frames, and I used to just throw them away, right? I wish I would have kept every single frame, bro. Because, so I grew up with, the whole S&M fit thing, you know? And I grew up on S&M Dirt Bike Classic 18 inches. That frame was amazing. I had, 3 of those frames. But then, I had, so many fit frames, and then, I've had a bunch of Colt frames now already. And basically, Colt's just been the only company hooking me up, so I'm ripping them all away now. I already landed a bunch of lines. I'm kind of just chilling now. I have to get my pedal right. By the way, if you guys want to learn how to do this trick, you have to have your cranks like that, at that angle. I haven't landed one of those in a long time. I went to test my bike and I ended up turning. That's good, man. Did you make one of those wooden things? Those wooden things really help out. Because you could do that in your house and stuff like that, right? Dude, that's cool. I actually haven't landed a Joel. I don't know. Do you know what that trick's called? That first trick where it's that no-hander, but it's almost like a locomotive. I think it would be maybe almost like a locomotive track stand no-hander, right? I don't know what that trick's called. But I don't know what that trick is. I'm gonna go see if it's sunset now. Actually, maybe should we have an outside shot sesh? I already landed a bunch of stuff. Okay.
Sure.
You gonna go to bed?
I'm going to stretch out to do my egg bath.
I'm gonna go right outside. The sun sets right now, so Where is my keys? Oh, there they are. Oh, like a 15-minute sunset sesh. Dude, I got so many clips today, so like, man, it's so much stuff. So I kind of don't even want to ride outside. See, I gotta hold my computer like this. So I'm gonna ride out front, but the thing is like, the street outside's actually not very flat. It's kind of like I'm riding on a pyramid, but there's a good mountain view, so I'm cool with it. I mean, honestly, this is why I pushed the stream back is just because of the sunset, so I need to just utilize it. Bunch of squirrel food. Okay. Oh, dude, the sunset's gonna be crazy right now. Oh, dude, that looks gnarly. You got the mountains. I can't put my phone over here. Computer. So I don't have the internet that I can just stream anywhere. I have to be connected to the Wi-Fi. Generally how I get the clips, I'll have the clips over here. Oh, is this thing broken? Oh, okay, here we go. I thought I broke this thing. Is this on auto? Okay, it is. You can't see the tripod, unfortunately. There we go. Actually, not a new clip. I've done this clip before. Why is it so dark? I'm close to AZ. I'm in a state between AZ and Colorado. That just narrows it down right there. I don't want to say exactly. I mean, there's the mountain. You can, if you know what mountains those are, it's pretty obvious where I live at. But nice music. It's just weird because there's not many there's actually only 2 other flatlanders that live in my state right now. And you can see the tripod. That's the one, like the light right there just is exactly where the tripod is. I basically live in the middle of nowhere. I guess no. I guess. Yeah. I don't live like the city's kind of like. I live like probably like an hour away from the city. Utah? No. Down. I also say it's New Mexico. I don't know if I should be saying that. I don't know. Should I say it? I guess it doesn't really matter, huh? Not like there's like thousands of people watching. There's actually a bit of time where I was like, maybe I shouldn't be streaming out in front of here. Why does it keep going to manual? Auto. For some reason it keeps changing on me. There we go. Let's put some music on. I'm gonna put music on this phone. So I just use the data on this phone. Perfect spot to ride outside your house. It's 45 minutes. Well, the thing is that street right there is actually really hard to do flatland stuff on, because the street's kind of like this. That's why I ride so much in the garage, is because it's actually like a kind of a level surface. Now, it's not a fully level surface, but it's pretty level. It just sucks because, like, if I want to go, like, ride with actually some riders, I gotta, like, drive a bit to kind of meet up with some other riders. And they don't even ride flatland, so it's like... It is a cool shot. Now the real sunset's gonna happen. So the thing is they actually call these mountains the watermelons, because like it looks like a giant slice of watermelon. And the thing is like this, you'll see it, it's gonna turn really red, and it's like a trip. What was I gonna do? How far does this go out? Kind of like used up all my energy already earlier. It's weird because I've heard there's actually another Flatlander that comes on this stream sometimes, and he says like some of the pro riders, they ride for like 14 8-hour days. It's crazy. I'm like, bro, are you kidding me? Like, what are these guys eating? Because I get tired. Like, I could ride probably for about, if I really pushed it, I could probably ride for like 4 hours, 4 or 5 hours. But I get tired after. Like, I think Matthias, there was one interview with Matthias, and he said that he would just ride. He would wake up, and his parents would, like, drop him off, and he would ride basically the entire workday. From 9 o'clock to, like, till the sun went down. It's crazy. Matthias is gnarly. Matthias. Two hours and I'm done. There's some really, that's the cool thing about Flatland though, is the longevity of the riders. That's actually one of the other reasons what got me into Flatland, is because of just like the longevity. I think there's still like, even the dudes from Rad, that one dude, Martin, I forgot his last name. It starts with an A. Amaharo or something like that. It's crazy. That dude still rides. And I'm like, holy moly, bro. You were in Rad, bro. Like, you were riding when I wasn't even born. And he's still riding. It's crazy. The chairman. Yeah, the chairman, huh? That's what his nickname is. Dude, I wish this street was fully flat. It's just hard to do stuff on here. I can do like gyrators on it, and if I can kind of do like stuff like in a straight line, if I do it straight like that, but it's just hard to ride. We'll do flatline tricks on it. I'm thinking about what I should do.
It's an opportunity to get more in before the sun goes down. Make this the summer. You drive America's best.
Yeah, I can hop 180. Let's see if I can get this combo. There's a combo I want to do up in here. See if I can land it. Is that wide? It involves a 180 though. Headband got in the way. Like, all my energy's like been spent. My main energy. I should have ate something. I think if I eat, like, I'd probably ride again pretty rigorously. Some red music or something. Let's see here. Cool song. So I want to do G-turn. This is the line I want to do. G-turn, switch, foot jam whip, tail tap, fakie, regular foot jam, tail whip, 180, tail tap, 180 to gyrator, bar spin. No hand or something.
tired. No, actually I don't use, it's actually one of the few tricks I actually don't use my brakes on the G-turn at all. Not even a little bit. Just like this a little bit. That's hard. Takes a lot of energy out of me. These brakes are all weird for some reason. New sound. I need my brakes to work better at the moment. Justin. I like doing pickup bar stuff too. See, we do some pickup bar. Actually, let's see what you do this line. Ah, fudge. I like my brain like spaced out. I forgot what I was gonna do. Normally I don't get to that point.
The number one pharmacist recommended vitamin and supplement brand.
That's the angle.
my energy reserves are like shot. But here's like the red mountains. I don't want to get one right here, but dude, that would have been the line out here. That was so close. Hello. Dude. Just doing any flatline trick on the street, it was just harder. Because I'm basically doing a gyrator on a slant. It's cool, it's just hard. So close. I don't know if I'm gonna get anything out here. Oh, that's good. It's been nice to go. My brakes all weird. The brakes feel really tinky.
Oh, my brakes, dude. Oh, it's by my wheel. Oh, it's my wheel, darn it. Something. That's brutal. Right at the end, we landed something. That was the only clip out here. We got. I don't even remember what I just did. Oh no, I did a steamroller line. Oh, I can't fit my box. All right, everybody, turn this over. I'll leave it on a Bible verse. Let's see what Bible verses we can put up in here. Do all to the glory of God. 1 Corinthians 10:31. So whether you eat or drink, whatever you do, do all to the glory of God. Glory be to the Most High, Lord Jesus Christ. And you know what it be, everybody. T-L-O-H-E-E-M. Peace out, guys. We out of here. Never mind. Peace out, Joe. Have a good one, man. And I need to hydrate. Thank you for. I really thank you for that. I actually do need a drink. Peace out, guys.